Well, it's been said here, but today is the one-month anniversary of Hamas's horrific attack on the world's only Jewish state. The atrocities of that day and those following it have left a dark and indelible stain on the entire world. Everyone can see these atrocities. And as the Prime Minister Netanyahu said very clearly, this is a battle between light and darkness, between good and evil. As our cherished friend and ally Israel fights for its survival against the Iran-backed terrorists of Hamas, we will continue to stand up for human dignity and offer moral clarity. House Republicans understand that this moment demands decisive action, and we insist that we cannot waste any more time getting Israel the aid that it desperately needs. That's why, as the first act of my speakership, we passed a resolution condemning Hamas and reaffirming our solemn commitment to Israel. Days later, with bipartisan margins, we passed the Israel Security Supplemental Appropriations Act to provide billions in assistance to Israel in its time of great peril. And as we mark the one-month anniversary of this attack, House Republicans met with and heard from family members of some of the victims, not only to understand their grief and pain and worries, but to make clear why Israel must do everything in its power to wipe out Hamas and ensure that what happened October 7th can never happen again. I am honored to introduce these families to you today, and joining us here, I'll introduce, is Doris Leeper, who is representing her son, Guy Elise. Guy is a 26-year-old musician who is living in Tel Aviv. He was enjoying the Nova Music Festival on October 7th when the attack happened. All of his friends were murdered, and Guy sustained a gunshot wound while running away. There has been no update on his condition since October 7th. Also with us is Yonathan Lulu Shemriz and Idu Lulu Shemriz, who are representing their brother, Elon Shemriz. Elon is a 26-year-old computer science student living in Kfar Aza who was kidnapped from his home by Hamas terrorists. His family has worked around the clock to receive information about his health and his whereabouts. And finally, Liran Bamir, who is representing his brothers, Ziv and Gali Bamir. Ziv and Gali are 26-year-old twin brothers, both working in the music, sound, and lighting industry. They are inseparable best friends and young adults who love traveling the world. They were abducted from their home on October 7th, and the family has received no update on their health since. I would ask them to come forward, and we'll start with Ms. Doris. If you'd like to speak for a moment, we'd invite you to do so.
I'm Doris. I'm an American citizen. I was actually born in Queens, New York. Just say a few words about my son. I can go on and on, but Guy is 26 years old, very sensitive boy, humble, a musician with a great future. Works with the best famous rock bands in Israel as a sound technician and backliner. I'll just take you back to that day. It was actually a holiday, and I haven't seen Guy for a long time since he always works on weekends. But since it was a holiday, he came over. I made him a nice dinner, which he hardly ate because he was on phones. He was going to the festival. Guy is like the glue of the tribe. All the friends were always at home, music, and he was doing all his calls. And they drove 5 packed cars to the south to this peace festival. And I was happy because, he works so hard, so he's entitled to fun. And all was fine. The following morning, there was a siren. I just went to the safe room, which is actually Guy's room, crawled in his bed, didn't even open up the news, but still, I couldn't go back to sleep, so I call him. And he answers. He's like hyped. So I'm thinking it's from the party. It's early in the morning. And I asked him, did the forces evacuate you? Because there was a siren. And he says, we were evacuated. We evacuated ourselves. So, okay. And I asked him, okay, where are you driving? And he says, I don't know yet. I said, what do you mean you don't know yet? He said, you know what? I know exactly where I'm coming. I'm coming home. I said, why are you coming home in the morning? He lives in Tel Aviv. It's another half an hour drive to my home. So he says, I'm coming to eat the soup that I didn't eat yesterday. Which is also odd, but I don't care. Come drive safely. And then I get another call from his father, Michel. He's hysterical. And he's like yelling and saying, do you know where Guy is? I say, yeah, I know where Guy is. He's coming home. He'll be here in a half an hour. He says, no. He just called and he's in a terror attack. And his best friend is killed. That's what he said on the phone. And he tries to put me on the conference call. I hook up and we hear shots in the background. He actually called an emergency call since he was shot in the arm and he wasn't able to stop the bleeding. And he was trying to say his last words. He actually said, I want to say my last words. We're not going to survive it. Nobody survived it. Everybody is killed. And his father is just saying, don't talk. If you can find dead bodies, try and just crawl under a dead body so they don't notice. And so he says, no, it's an open area. He doesn't let it. His father doesn't let him speak. He said, shush, don't talk, don't let them hear you. And I try to, tell him, Guy, I love you. Don't worry, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to call now. I'm going to send somebody now to get you. And that's what I did. I hung up. And I regret that, since I didn't hear from him since. His father drove immediately to that place, but it was already closed by the police, no entry, and the next few hours were like crazy. Nobody knew anything. This continues on for the next few days. Nobody knows anything. It's like we don't know if he's killed, if nobody even knew about, it's only like the next day that it spread out that there were hostages. For a week or so, I was just waiting to get a message that he was identified, but we didn't get that. Lucky me. What we did get was on I think it was Al Jazeera, I'm not sure, a video of a Hamas guy, with saying that Guy Iluz was killed by Israeli bombing. That's a point I break down, of course. But I actually get an immediate call from the military, and they came over and they say, look, don't pay attention to these whatever the Hamas says, but the good news is that he's a hostage. And this goes on. This goes on, these mind games. I get a call not even a week ago, somebody calling me saying, this is a confidential call. You cannot say anything about this call. We are now taking care of Guy's case. He's going to be put on the top of the list, and he's going to be freed. You just need to send me all his info, his passport, his ID, whatever you have, tattoos, whatever, and I just, get there and just send anything I can. And then there's another siren, and I run to the safe room, and it was like crazy. I didn't know what to do, but I did call the military, my connection, and she says, I don't tell her because I'm afraid that his chances, like they did play with my mind, and I was saying, look, I can't tell you about the call. They told me it's confidential. I can't tell you. So she convinces me just to give the phone number of this lady that called, and yeah, it's mind games. And that it's just going on and on. I'm here because it's been 30 days. Every day is like eternity to me, and I can't wait any longer because I know that he was shot. I don't know anything. Maybe everything is we don't know. We don't have a list of the hostages. We don't know their condition. I don't have anything. So I need your help, basically. I'm part of your people. You're part of Israel, and America has been like the best allies, and I'm so proud of being an American, being an Israeli as well. But I do need you now because there's nothing helping me now. I pray, which I didn't do before, but just please help me. Oh, and one other thing, if I can, I just forgot. This is Guy, okay? His best friend is a hostage too. This is R-Minn, his best friend. So that's it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. We pray for both of them, and thank you for sharing your story. Jonathan and Edu, would you like to speak? Yeah.
Hello everyone, thank you for having us. My name is Jonathan, this is my brother Ido. We used to live in Kibbutz Kfar Aza for 30 years. I live with my wife and my 2-year-old daughter. Our parents live in the same kibbutz, a couple houses from me. Ido lives in the heart of the kibbutz. And our brother alone kidnapped from his house in the same kibbutz. In that Saturday, my wife woke me up to the sound of the alarms and the missiles. As we rushed to the safe room, I managed to grab my birthday cake of my daughter and some water, and we lock ourselves in the safe room. Meanwhile, Ido sent me a message that he is in the safeguard of the kibbutz, and they called them up to take the guns and fight. And in that point, we realized that we are under attack. So I locked the safe room. I told my wife to be with my daughter, and I told her I will guard the door. As soon as we lock the safe room, we start to get messages from all around the kibbutz. The terrorists go inside houses and start killing people. Families, babies. Around 10 o'clock, My younger brother alone wrote me a message that he heard terrorists go inside his house. So I wrote him that I love him and he's strong. He sent me a heart emoji, and that's the last time we spoke. For the rest time in the safe room, we've been in an absolutely nightmare. I can stress, and you can imagine what it feels like to be in the safe room with your 7-month pregnant wife, with your 2-year-old daughter, when you hear all your friends being slaughtered inside the beds, when you hear all the terrorists going inside the kibbutz, inside civilians' houses, and wiped out families. Alon was Alon worked with us. We're a family business. He was a great guy. We do everything together, 3 of us. We miss him a lot. But now, this is a call for action. There have been 32 days now, and Hamas, just to remind you, he butchered our families, he raped our women, he beheaded our babies, and he burned us alive. This is the organization that take and kidnapped children, 9-month children, 3-year-old children. He kidnapped elderly women and men that are sick. This barbarian organization kidnapped 240 plus civilians. And every day now, you never know what they can do to them. I want to take to everyone here for helping us, to the American government that help us, but it's not enough. We need help now. We don't know what is their condition. This is a call for action. And this is a wake-up call, not only for Israel, not only for the Jewish community. This is a wake-up call for all of you. All of you here, all of America, all of Europe. You are next. You are next. And we should do everything that we can to stop these atrocities to come and ever again. We need to remember 7th of October and do whatever that we can to stop this, to sorry. Thank you again. Thank you.
The family's time is very short, but I wanted to ask Liran if he would like to speak briefly and share your story as well. Welcome you.
Hello everyone, my name is Liran Berman, and on October 7 my life stopped when my 2 younger brothers, Gali and Ziv Berman, were kidnapped. I'm also from Ido and Yonatan kibbutz, Kfar Aza, on the border of the Gaza Strip. My whole family is living there. My father, my mother, my second brother, and my twins brother. They were in a certain age that all their life was ahead of them. 26, without any obligation. They worked, they partied, They cheered for their favorite football team. They traveled around the world as a family, with friends. And on October 7th, they were kidnapped from their beds in their safe rooms. Sorry, it's difficult. Like Jonathan said, we are pleading you, the world, to help us to speak with Hamas. We have no clue what's happened to them. We only know that they are in Gaza. We don't know if they are injured, if they are together, if they are still alive. For 31 days, for a whole month, my community was butchered in Kfar Aza. We've been to more funerals in a week than I've been in my entire life. 10 days after the October 7th, the military came to us and told us that both of them are kidnapped. It's been too long for us to not know anything, to not hear anything, to know that the Red Cross hasn't entered to see the injured, that the Western world hasn't heard anything from the terrorist organization Hamas, who act like ISIS. I want to thank you all for having us here, for giving us a voice to speak to you, to the American people, to the Congress. It's appreciated. We need action. We need action now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we want to thank these families again for their courage and their willingness to share your harrowing stories. And I will say again and reiterate once more, we will stand against these atrocities, and we will stand with Israel, and we'll stand with each of you and your families. We'll be praying for you, and we'll be taking action, because that's what we're going to do here. That's what's called for.